Welcome to our VBT Group Travel Program webinar today. We are here with John Zelig, who is our Group Tour Manager. John, welcome.
Hi, Lee. Thanks for introducing myself. Hello, everybody out there listening to us live. Again, I'm John Zelig. I'm the Group Tour Manager with VBT. You're looking at a couple of pictures on your screen right now of me working hard out on a couple of tours. I've been a tour consultant at VBT to start out with, starting about 3 years ago. Now as the Group Tour Manager, I'm working with groups that travel with us. You'll see a couple of shots here of me working hard. On the left is me on the Amalfi Coast walking tour, as well as on the bottom right, that's the beaches of North Holland, the bike and sail tour. Gosh, the walking tour, that's walking up about 1,000 steps. That was quite a workout. The middle picture is actually a photo of biking in a local fundraiser that VBT supports called the Kelly Brush Foundation Ride. I think that was me huffing and puffing going across the finish line. I just love talking with guests. I love hearing your stories, living vicariously through you. It's not all actually really fun and games though. We're out there, all of our tour consultants go out on tours just like this. We come back and everybody is trained that you'll speak with. So whether it's me or one of our tour consultants, they're very knowledgeable about all of our tours. So up in that upper right picture, that's actually a giant mozzarella ball that's not an ostrich egg. Now that is an ostrich egg. That was on the North Holland and Friesland Bike and Tour sale. That was from a home-hosted meal we did. It was at an organic farm. Didn't actually get to taste them, but on all of our tours, we stress the importance of discovery moments. So we're not actually biking 8 hours every day in the saddle. We're immersed in the local culture. We'll do some days like this. We do a home-hosted meal, wine tastings. Maybe on the South Carolina tour, you're going to be learning to do the Virginia reel. On the Amalfi Coast tour, we learn paper making. On the Croatia tour, we visit a stone cutting school. So lots of other things to do on our tours. Today's topics sounds like a class, doesn't it? Don't worry, there's not going to be a quiz at the end. We'll be covering a lot to do with the group program. I'll be giving you the overview of it. Whether you've been a tour organizer, a member of one tour with us, maybe you've been on 3 tours or more. Maybe you're just looking at VBT for the first time. We'll talk about the VBT experience, what it's like to go on a tour, what it's like to organize a group, your role. It's really not hard though. I'm going to give you some ideas how to gather that group, as well as the group incentive program we offer with it. I have on the line with us a 12-time group organizer, Jane. She's going to share some tips from her travels. At the end, we're going to go through a little question and answers. So just sit back, grab a little caprese salad, maybe a little stroopwafel from your Holland tour. So VBT's mission with all of our tours is to positively impact people's lives through active travel experiences. From my role to the leader's role, everybody will strive to make your vacation the best that it can be. We got our start right in our backyard here. I'm sitting in our office overlooking Lake Champlain. We actually have 2 tours now in our backyard in the Burlington area. And we've been the leader since 1971 in small group travel. Whether it be a group, most of our bike tours, we take up to 20 people. So a group can be starting at about 9 or 10 people, all the way up to that 20 people. Our bike and barge and sail and barge trips accommodate up to 24 on those tours. We cover the globe. If you haven't traveled with us, you may not know we cover 55 deluxe tours in 27 different countries. I like to say we cover from A to Z, from Alsace to New Zealand. I couldn't think of a Z. We're very proud to be honored as one of Travel and Leisure's World Best Awards. You'll see that for the 7th time. And we've built a real strong loyalty with our group travel program. We have over 25 guests who travel with us in this program every year. Something else that we'll note that makes us noteworthy from our competition, we use only local trip leaders. So whether you go to Croatia, to Italy, to Holland, they will be very knowledgeable. They are all bilingual. We even may travel in their backyard. Heck, on one of those tours, they even bring you to one of their houses. So whether it's Marcello in Italy, Ka in Vietnam, Moran in Holland, Dan in California, you'll just fall in love with them. Some of my group organizers even tell me they have invited them back to their homes in the U.S. Now we're going to share a little short video. It's about a minute and a half, so sit back and Lee will tell you about that.
Okay, thanks, John. So I'm going to bring...
All right, I hope everybody enjoyed that short video. That just brought me back memories of my time on the North Holland bike and sail trip. I'm salivating just looking at those photos. So why become a group organizer, you're asking yourself? Well, the top reason is probably that you're going to be traveling with your friends and family, like-minded people. So I hope you like your family. When you come back from the tour, really what you're going to bring back from the tour are memories. When you're standing around the water cooler, telling your stories, captivating your friends, that's the memories are real you're going to bring back from the tour. VBT handles all the logistics from start to finish, door to door, we like to say. So if you can just get to the airport in the U.S. door, we'll take it from there. We pick you up when you arrive and then bring you to the first hotel with our air package. The air package is really the best value we offer. With the group program, you'll have the option to save as well on top of our best value. If you organize a group with 8 or more people plus yourself, you'll qualify for a group rebate. I'll go into that too with a little more detail in just a little bit. And lastly, you'll have the opportunity to organize a private tour, starting at 16 people on our European trips and domestic trips. You would just have your group. What a great opportunity to have to make new friends. This group looks like they're really having fun here. This is the Heart of Europe bike and barge trip. I'm afraid you do need to leave your pets at home, though. This guy tried to get smuggled onto one of our recent trips. So what's a typical tour group? Well, I really don't have an answer to that. You can come up with an answer. It's a lot of groups are family trips, multi-generational trips, friends and neighbors, whoever you'd like to reach out to, whether it be your spinning club, your ski club. Actually work with a couple of ski clubs from Florida. I'm working with a hiking club from Delaware doing our Portugal walking tour. Recently I've worked with a food blogger who has a following, and she just organized a private tour going to Quebec, kind of a foodie tour. Maybe it's a special occasion, a birthday, a retirement. It's up to you. Maybe it's your book club and you've been studying all about Italy. How do you go about gathering your friends? Well, it's not really a hard sell, as I've been told. So whether it be people that have been on a trip with you before, your family, be creative. Reach out to people in your local clubs, your organizations. We're happy to help you out. I can send catalogs to them. Steer them to the website. Even that video that we just showed, that's a great resource. Host a barbecue. One of our group organizers, Jane on the line, she has a barbecue right before the tour, serving some of the local food that you'll be seeing on the tour. If you need a recipe for a little almond lemon cake, I'll be happy to share that with you too. Use Facebook. I'm sure you're all on Facebook, and just share videos with the tour. People send me videos when they get back to the tour. That's a great way to promote your tour in the future. Jane also tells me that she puts together a newsletter for her group and she emails them regularly. Most of all, though, don't forget to have fun when you're out on the tour. I was talking about the historical things we do, the discovery we do on the tour. Here's a group just looks like they're having fun. What do they say? Art imitates life, or is it life imitates art? So my role is to walk you through the whole group process from start to finish. Think of me as your concierge. The practical points for how to go about putting this together. The hardest part, they say, is picking that tour that you'd like to do with your group and the date. If If you need any help with that, a tiebreaker vote, just give me a shout. We have some great resources on the website. You can narrow it down whether you're interested in looking at easy riding, a little more difficult rides. Maybe you're looking at beaches, wineries, a little history on the tour. We can steer you to that right tour. After you pick that tour, we're going to hold space for your group for 3 weeks. You don't have to worry about losing that space. Here's a little insider tip. We give priority to groups booking for the following year, starting in March with our barge trip. So if you call me, if you're interested in a barge trip, those spaces are just held for the groups. We know the groups fill up on the barge trips as they're one of the most popular tours for groups. After that, my part, I'm going to send you back a group email with your group number. You just forward that to all your friends. They'll be making their individual reservations with our tour consultants here. I'll provide you with updates along the way. Basically, I'm just going to hold your hand. Anything you need from me along the way. And then, really important, if you reach that minimum for a group, I'll be sending you a group rebate check about 2 weeks prior to departure. So the process, once you get that, you decided on that tour, you have the next 3 weeks for everybody to call in our tour consultants and make their reservations, put down their deposits. They'll work individually. They'll personalize their reservations. So you could have people joining your group from all the way around across the globe, not just in the U.S., Canada. I've had people from Bangkok coming on a tour, and they're flying in. But we will put it all together so people can do what they wish to do individually. Pre, post-tour, individuals can have business class, customize their airfare however they wish. All you have to do is worry about packing your bags and then enjoying the tour. Now the perks. The group program, first off, as we mentioned, allows you to hold reservations for about 3 weeks to start with. The incentive program with the group rebate will send you back a check based on how many people are in your group. Starting with Tier 1, if you bring 8 people plus yourself, so a total of 9, you get 50% off your trip cost. Tier 2 is a free tour. If you bring 10 people plus yourself, that would be 1 free tour. And for people who bring 16 people plus yourself, 2 free tours. The math's pretty easy. To figure out that free tour, we just compute the average tour cost of everybody in your group. We figure in everything they're doing from the pre and post tour, the upgrades, all figured in. And then we send you a check based on that number of people. So it's totally up to you how to use that rebate. I'll go into that. But just give you kind of a rough estimate, say for a European tour that, starts around $4,000. If that's the average tour cost and you have 12 people, I'd send you a check for $4,000. Now you're already thinking about how to use that group incentive, the discount. So most of the people decide to share it. It's up to you totally how to do it. Most often, though, they share it amongst their friends. Whether that be giving out a $100 check at breakfast, having an open bar. I had a group organizer who said, if we can get to that 17 level and get the 2 free tours, we're going to have an open bar for everybody. Up on the upper left is a picture of a group that recently went to New Zealand. Pretty snazzy jerseys they had customized with the New Zealand flag. Down on the lower right, that's a custom jersey going for a group going on our War Valley tour, complete with some wine bottles in the rear pocket. And on the left, that's a bag that our group organizer, Jane, she personalizes that with her group's logo and then puts a few goodies into that bag. Another creative use is to donate some of it. I had a group down in Florida. They donated their discount to a local charity. On the line with us, though, I have Jane. She's coming into us live. Jane's a 12-time group organizer. The name of her group is We Go Now. It's an all-women's group. They've done, as I said, 12 tours. Hi, Jane.
Hi, John.
Oh, so glad you're able to join us today. Love hearing your story.
I'm delighted. It just has been so fun this last week thinking back to the 12 VBT trips that I've been so fortunate to go on with private groups. And how did I discover VBT? I know you're going to ask that, John. And actually, before going on a VBT, a bike tour, I went on 5 non-VBT bike tours. So I learned about bike travel through these other companies and was so delighted to discover VBT and have never wavered, have just become more enthused about being a group organizer and working with this incredible staff in Vermont, and also all of these trip leaders we've had. Like our group says, where does VBT find these people? These trip leaders, like I say to my groups, they are your new best friends. I mean, they not only are interested in safety, they know bikes, they know the routes, they know the countries, but they're fun and they're so personable. And as John mentioned, they are natives. They speak beautiful English, but they share their stories on where they grew up, be it Prague, be it Ho Chi Minh City. We learn so much from them, as well as having a great time with them.
So what do you think? What do you think, Jane, sets VBT apart? You mentioned you went on 5 other tours. Why take an active vacation?
Why take an active? Because, in my opinion, the biking or the walking is the most authentic way to expand your world. And don't we need more of that? Americans going places, learning how other people live and being with them, not in the big cities, but actually traveling under our own power on the seat of that bike and interacting with them in little villages, in their grocery stores, and smelling the wonderful lavender of Croatia, hearing the meh of the sheep in New Zealand, and the little children coming out of their homes, their little huts, looking at 20 women with bike helmets. And I mean, this is so non-travel, non-American travel, in that we know through all of our trips, we can be the only Americans they have ever met. And so that's a big part of our group culture for We Go Now, that we are like ambassadors. We're bringing America to them, and we want to make a pleasant impression, don't we?
And you, that's very well said. And you do some special things for your groups. You mentioned that, like on the pre and post tour, you mostly have private groups. You put together some special activities for them. Yes,
we do. We do, as you mentioned, we do have a pre-tour party, and that's fun because every year then people will bring their photos or whatever, but their memorabilia. Will share tales with the new people, and new people, as we call them, newbies, can ask questions. And the other enhancements we do, and it's so easy, either using VBT or the concierge at the hotels, is pre-booking. Like in Krakow, we pre-booked a private group tour of Auschwitz and Birkenau. And in Paris, we pre-booked a ballet. And we really enjoy doing that, and especially the pre-trip, because it gives the group a sense of that they are together on this. But our go ahead.
Yes, your motto. I've heard something about no whining.
Oh yes, no whining. Yes, we do have a culture but it's taken us about 12 years to kind of refine this. I mean, each trip we feel is better than the last one. And we do allow whining, yes, but we don't allow whining. So drink the wine, drink the wine.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed some wine on the Chile tour there too. And something about snaking. Yes. I've heard some stories about a toy snake.
Yes, I think this upper left picture here is, that's my little team of us wine blenders down at a lovely vineyard in Chile. And a sommelier did the wine judging, but we actually, as teams, we all worked as teams to use their wines to create our own blend, which we then got to bottle, and we got to label, cork, and put the wax on top, and we got to bring home. And our team, that happy-looking team there, won the award. So that was a very fun thing. But that was organized by VBT. VBT on the trip, these home-hosted meals, as John mentioned, in Pučička in Croatia, we all got to pound a little limestone and learned about that. They're not just go and look at, but actually interactive, and that makes it so authentic, being a cooking experience where we actually interact with locals.
That's great. And you have a big following, too. You keep in touch with people and you send out emails.
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you keep growing your base?
I do enjoy it. All year long I'm doing this, even though the trip maybe is 11 days. I love every minute of it. And I enjoy doing a monthly email. We go now email where I'll do just basically marketing, photos of the country, the dates, the information off of VBT, the website, different things in the country, different things we've set up, like we had a private flamenco lesson in Sevilla, and just to try to entice people to come along with us. And it's kind of interesting, then we get feedback, questions or whatever, and I never put down the prices because that's wonderful. VBT handles all of that, and they handle the air, and like John said, that airland package is the best way to go. But it's fun they always look forward, they tell me these monthly emails, and then as we get closer to the date, I do a countdown, and we do a spread the bed. When we're like 2 weeks out, we pick a bed and spread it with everything that we think we want to take, and then remove half of it. So I think that email is a way to stay in touch, and at the end of a trip, when we are in wherever we are already talking about our next trip. So, because we need to put money aside, time aside, and I mean, these are people who choose to do this are, I think, awesome people. Often at the end of a trip, there will be tears because it's over, and the women are thrilled that they actually did this. So tears of self-esteem, accomplishment, and as John said, the tales at the water cooler go on and on. We also do a daily journal that gets passed amidst the group, and then I type it up on Word and send it out, and we do a group share through VBT of our photos.
Yeah, those are great. I love living vicariously through your group. That group journal is that's really neat because every person wrote one day, so you didn't have everybody that didn't have to meticulously remember the tour. So that was great. And the barge tour.
Fun because we often refer back to it. You know, as I'm getting older, John, I'm going, now what was the name of the town where ta-ta-ta-ta-ta? So great to have that journal to be able to look it up. And another thing that we do is an enhancement is for each trip, our group members get a favor, like you showed that backpack, and we've done bike necklaces, bike earrings, bike messenger bags, bike wine glasses, purses, visors, a bike chain frame, and I think people enjoy them, all with our logo on. So that's kind of fun.
Well, great. We definitely appreciate the We Go Now group, and we look forward to seeing you on your next tour.
Why, thanks, John.
Thanks for spending time with us today, Jane.
I hope they sign up. It's fun being a group leader, especially when you land and you meet your two best friends, the VBT tour guides, and go, my work is done. Now they get to work.
Yeah. Well, take care, Jane. Nice talking with you. On the line with me now is Steve from the Boston area. Steve was on a tour in Normandy about 2 years ago with his family, and he decided that next tour he was going to take with some friends. So he contacted me recently, and we put together a tour for the Tuscany region. So first, hey Steve.
Hi, John.
Yeah. Tell me about that Normandy tour, your first tour, and what led you to go with VBT.
Yeah, the Normandy tour was spectacular. We chose VBT after a lot of research. We had never been on anything like this before. So we did a lot of Googling around and talked to some friends and talked to a friend of a friend who had been on a VBT tour and decided that the locations and the value were top-notch. So we decided Normandy, because that was one of our bucket list items. We really wanted to go to see the D-Day beaches in Normandy and Brittany, so that's what we did.
Yeah, that must have been wonderful. And then you came up with Tuscany and the next trip. You're up, how many people?
We have 12 people on our trip now, and figuring out Tuscany, I did with my wife, Kate, because again, we said, where do we want to go next? Well, we think we want to go to Tuscany. So we had been talking to our friends for a year and a half now. In July of 2016, for our 25th wedding anniversary, we took the trip to Normandy. And we came back and we described it to our family and friends as an A++ experience. And for months, and numbers of those people said, oh, you got to tell us next time you're going on something like that. Let me know. I'd love to do that. So once we decided on Tuscany, we just kind of collected emails of all the people who thought they wanted to go with us along the way and sent it out. And we were barraged with the number of people who wanted to go. In fact, we had more people who wanted to go than could go. It's been a great experience to date.
Right. You told me you had a conference call with everybody to bring them all together.
We did, because none of them have ever been on a bicycling tour. And numbers of people have been on cruises. Some of the people had actually been on a hiking tour to Machu Picchu. Nobody had ever been on a biking tour and didn't really know what it was about. So we decided to have kind of early on, maybe a week into the 3-week period, a conference call just to get everybody together who was interested so they could ask questions one evening. What is it like biking? It says it's easy. What does easy mean? How long do you bike? Do you get breaks? Are you going to get stuck on the side of the road? What happens if I get a flat? All those kinds of questions that we answered. And it went over very well. That helped illustrate the value of VBT and the fun that we had all together in one group setting.
Yeah, great. And you're an avid cyclist, I understand, and you've done a number of rides. You're part of bike clubs. You have a creative use that you're thinking about. You've talked with your group about how you plan on using a portion of the group incentive. Tell me about that.
Sure. We've always wanted to give back. We always want to have fun. So because we have 12 people, we're getting one free trip. I'm the group organizer, so quote unquote, it's my free trip, but that's not right. It's the group's money. So we've decided to split it 3 ways, the $4,000-ish. We're going to take it, and the 12 of us are going to have a really nice dinner in Tuscany one night. Not all of the meals, not all the dinners are included. So one of the dinners on our own, we'll go off and I'll put it on my credit card and we'll take that off the top of the group organizer incentive. And then the remaining part, we're going to split 50-50. The first 50, we're going to split evenly amongst the 12 of us. And the other 50%, we're going to donate to a cause that's near and dear to me, a bicycling charity ride called the Pan Massachusetts Challenge. It's a cancer fundraiser for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, and the largest a thon, if you will, in the world. Last year, it raised $51 million for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And this is going to be my 10th year doing it, so I'm hoping to raise $10,000. So this would be a nice advance donation to my goal.
Yeah, that's great. That's quite a ride. I know it's like 200 plus miles over 2 days, but thanks. That's wonderful. I enjoyed working with you, Steve, and we'll be in touch soon. So thanks for sharing your experiences and looking forward to Tuscany.
Sure, I am too. Thank you.
If you're having trouble picking a group tour, though, we'll help you out. We do have a list on the website. You really can't go wrong throwing a dart at the board with any of our trips, whether you're looking for whether it's beaches or wine, history, easy cycling, a little more difficult cycling maybe on the Croatia tour. We even level that off now with our e-bike offering so that you don't have to narrow that down quite so much. At the bottom also, we talk about our barge and bike and sail vacations. Those are really most popular amongst groups. Just everybody spends time together. You only unpack your bags once. You come back from riding, they have hors d'oeuvres set up in the lounge. What a great way to travel. I'd love to tell you about the bike and sail trip that I went on. We have another about a minute and a half video here going through those, we call the waterways. So sit back and just relax and we'll watch another short video and then we'll wrap it up. Great, well I hope everybody enjoyed that short video. I'm salivating once again, just going back to looking at all that great travel on the North Holland-Friesland tour. Just a quick recap of what we went through today. We talked about how to gather your group, the group program benefits, how to select that favorite tour of yours, how you all make your reservations, really just how to, I don't have to tell you this, but how to sit back and relax. The group discount program, and lastly, you're ready to go out and bike, walk, or discover VBT. So thank you very much for joining us today for the group program webinar. We do have a few questions, though, that were sent in, so if you'd like to spend a few more minutes with us, I'm going to go through answering a few of those.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and just want to invite our audience members who are listening, if you do have a question, you can type it in now through the question box on the right. I see that we have a couple in there already, and so let me get started with our questions. John, we have a question here from Liz who says, what if I don't get enough people in my group to sign up?
Well, Liz, don't fret. You may not think you're going to get enough people to start with. If you have 6 people, 8 people lined up already for a tour, that's good enough for me to start to put the wheels in motion. I'll still start the wheels in motion. Like you're going to get to a group with 9 minimum. We'll send out the group letter to you. We'll reserve your space. I bet you're going to get there, though, inviting friends of friends. In the long run, though, no harm in trying. If you don't get to 9 to get that group rebate, no harm in trying, though. Still, you'll have the best value out there in group travel with us.
Okay, thank you. And I think you covered this, but just want to make sure that we're really clear because we had a question about clarifying an 8-person group versus a 16-person tour.
Sure. So the level, 3 tiers to receive a group incentive are 8 plus yourself, or 9 people total. 10 people plus yourself, or 11 total. And 16 plus yourself, or 17 total. So the first tier at 9 or 10 people earns you half a free tour back. 11 to 16 people would earn you 1 free tour, and 17 or more would be 2 free tours.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And so this question, just thinking about the group number again, is there a minimum number of guests before the trip becomes private? In other words, if I gather 12 friends, does VBT add others into my group?
Well, to have a private tour requires 16 people for all of our just bike tours. The barge and bike, the sail and bike tours are a little bit different. They require you to fill all the cabins on the boat. But 16, that would be just your group. If you reach that level, it's just your group. If you don't, then we're going to open it up to the public at a certain point. So it's going to be, if you only have 10 people, we open the other spaces, 10 plus spaces, to the public. If you're an individual going on a trip with us, you may be joining a group though. We'll let you know when you book if you're joining a group already established too. And I bet they're going to invite you on their next trip.
Okay, thank you. And a question here, how does the frequent flyer discount work, and can I use it?
Frequent flyer. I think what they're referring to is actually our frequent travel credit. It's similar to a frequent flyer program on airlines. When you travel with VBT, you'll earn a frequent travel credit with us. It's 5% of that tour, and it's going to pay forward towards your next tour the following year. You can use it all the way up until December 31st that following year. And the great part about our group program, those are eligible to be applied towards your total invoice. So the more you travel with us, you'll keep earning that.
That's terrific. Thank you. All righty. So we have a listener who has a bike club meeting tomorrow night and is wondering if there are any barge tours still available for this summer, 2018.
There's actually a sail and barge tour. There's two tours. We can look at the specific dates. The two barge tours, or I'm sorry, the three barge and bike tours, which are the Holland to Belgium, the Holland and Springtime tour, as well as the Heart of Europe barge tour. Those are all sold out for groups this year. But the sailing tours, the two that we offer, the North Holland Bike and Sail Tour, as well as the one around the East Lemire, both in the same region. Give me a shout. I'd love to review those, talk to you a little bit about those two tours. Those actually were a barge. It's a converted barge that they put 3 masts on. The sailing is really tranquil. You don't even have to be a sailor. It's like bathwater up there. It's a very similar experience to going on a barge.
Okay, that sounds cool. Thank you. So can a private tour go on an unpublished date, or can an unpublished route be requested?
Sometimes. I do have at my disposal some dates that we don't publish in catalogs behind the scenes. So I recommend that anybody looking at a private group, give me a shout. We do have set schedules. We make our schedules sometimes over almost up to 2 years in advance. We're looking ahead, and it's like clockwork how we have the dates set up. So the hotels, the airlines, everything's really contracted, running to our schedule. With that said, though, there is some leeway that we can look at some private dates, some that are not published you won't see on our website.
Okay, and we have several listeners asking about 2019. Specifically, we have someone asking about the New Zealand bike walk tour in 2019.
Well, great. Glad to see you're planning ahead. We are as well. Those will be forthcoming. Right now, right on the fringe of coming out, releasing the barge tours. They're the first dates that we released for 2019. And those will be going out to the public by, I would say, April 1st. But if you're a group organizer and are looking at a barge tour before that, please let me know. I can set up a date for you. We can hold space on one of the barge tours. After that, you mentioned the New Zealand tour, what we call our warm winter tours that include New Zealand, Vietnam, Machu Picchu, amongst those in South Africa. Those tours follow next. So if you have one of those, give me a shout. You can be first in line. I will give you that advance notice for the New Zealand tour before the public knows. And after that, we announce our European dates as well as our domestic dates. If you'd like to get in line for any of these dates, though, before the public, give me a shout, please. You have my email on the screen. If you don't remember that, just email to info@VBT and make it attention John. I'll be sure to get back to you.
All right. Thank you, John. So another question, can children come as passengers on a bike?
Well, we'd love to have children. on our tours. There is an age minimum that we have for our tours, and it's really a case-by-case basis. I don't want to say it's set in stone, but we can talk to you more about that. On our European tours, it's 16. I'm sorry, on European tours, I believe it's 16, and we will be happy to talk to you more about that case-by-case basis. We do eat late. We're a mature group of travelers, so really traveling with us, they're going to be traveling with mature group. We eat late. It's not, we're not biking all the time, so it's really, whether or not you think they'll, fit in and have fun with us. But certainly we do have kids traveling. I've had some tours where people bring their grandkids with them, so it can differ by tour to tour. Grandkids we've had in their 16 to 20s on tours too.
All right. Well, that's terrific. It looks like we have one last question here, and it is about your cancellation and change policies. Could you give us some information about those, please? Yeah.
Well, basically, we confirm the trips at the 90-day mark before a tour. If we feel the trip, I can give you kind of a warm feeling, though, before that, whether a trip is definitely going to go. If a trip has a dozen spaces, rule of thumb is about a dozen. In that ballpark, that trip would be confirmed. I can't put a hard number on it, but we do look on a case-by-case basis. There's options too. If a tour was canceled, it's really under 2% of our tours get canceled for that reason, and we would offer you other dates.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I am going to stop there and turn it back over to you for closing comments.
Hey, thanks, Lee. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today for the group program. I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions on what we went over today, if you're looking at a tour even for 2018, we have some dates available, even for private tours. Or if you're looking into 2019, I look forward to hearing from you by email or phone. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us again. We'll see you out there.
Yes, and my thanks as well. And with that, we will conclude our webinar. Thanks, John, and have a great day, everybody. Goodbye now.